Oh, hello there wrestling fans, I'm back with another video. I have been kind of out for a week. There's been no SmackDown reviews for 2 weeks. I apologize for that. It's been a lot of stuff for me to do. And however, the main priority right now in the wrestling world isn't really SmackDown. It's Raw and Impact, considering the Monday Night War episode this past Monday, 1 week ago. However, this is a video where I'm going to present the 2010 pay-per-view calendar. How it looks right now. There is some major changes, and I'm also gonna integrate this with a kill or keep segment that has been asked for now. I made 2 kill or keep with videos earlier where you can discuss whether to kill or keep the special guest hosts on Raw or the ECW brand over at on Tuesdays, whether it's something you should kill or keep. In this video I'm going to first now present the pay-per-views of 2010, and we know WWE has kind of reduced the amount of pay-per-views over the year. They've changed a lot of names. They have went from 16 pay-per-view in 2006 was the year they had 16 pay-per-views, then down to 15, 14. Last year they had, in 2009, they had 14 pay-per-views. That's apparently now cut down to 13 pay-per-views. First off, we know that this upcoming month, now in January, we have Royal Rumble in Georgia, then followed by No Way Out. That has changed names to Elimination Chamber. The main event match is a Elimination Chamber match that on that pay-per-view. It's been so for a couple of years, and it's been now WrestleMania 26. That's in March this year, not in April. It's not that long of a build-up as it was last year. It was 7 weeks, I believe, almost a little too long. Then Baltimore is going to host Backlash, and I believe they have done so before. And then the first change of the year. Backlash is kept, by the way, one of the few old pay-per-views that hasn't changed names. And I think that's good. Backlash is a good name of a pay-per-view coming out of WrestleMania 26. And out from WrestleMania in general. In May, that's the first big change. Judgment Day, as I reported earlier, was about to be scrapped, and it is scrapped. It was talking about what kind of pay-per-view is gonna replace Judgment Day. Apparently they are gonna move Extreme Rules from June to May. I think that's a good move, because Judgment Day to me never was that good of a pay-per-view. They never seemed to actually be able to catch excitement. There was always a lot of excitement for Backlash, but then it kind of simmered for Judgment Day, and it became in the middle of pay-per-view, somewhere in while you were waiting for someone else, for something else. So kind of adding this edge to this May pay-per-view by moving Extreme Rules there is a good thing to me, because then you have the format of an Extreme Rules pay-per-view in May, instead of just having a random pay-per-view with no theme attached to it. Then in June, the only pay-per-view right now there is The Bash. The Bash was there in June last year as well. So May, Extreme Rules, June, The Bash. Then in July, Night of Champions is no more in July. So actually right now WWE hasn't announced what kind of pay-per-view, what name it's going to have, where it's going to be, or anything. I don't believe they have announced anything as of now, but apparently there is going to be a pay-per-view there, but it's to be determined by WWE TBD. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Then California will host SummerSlam in August as usual. Then in September, there is the Night of Champions pay-per-view. They have moved it from July till September, meaning Breaking Point apparently is scrapped. They had it last year as a new pay-per-view replacing Unforgiven, but Breaking Point as of now is no more. It could be that the pay-per-view turns up in July instead, I don't know, or maybe they just scrap it altogether. So, and I believe that this pay-per-view, the Night of Champions, who last year was very good, has a 5-week build-up to it, and I like that. A big problem last year was that they had, from WrestleMania to Backlash to Judgment Day to Extreme Rules to The Bash, they had only 3 weeks to build up each and every pay-per-view, and WWE themselves expressed that this was a problem, that they weren't able to build up every pay-per-view as well as they wanted to. that went for SummerSlam as well, which only had 4 weeks, and I believe it only has 4 weeks this year as well. We don't know that as of yet, because I don't remember if that July pay-per-view, which hasn't been announced what kind of pay-per-view it will be, has had a date set yet. However, from Night of Champions to October, they have kept the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I would have preferred the Breaking Point pay-per-view over the Hell in a Cell, because I think that pay-per-view was a lot better than the actual Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I don't like the new Cell, although I like the Legacy versus DX match, and the way they used the Cell last year was very intriguing to see and very interesting. But on the whole, I don't like this new high Cell. It's way too dangerous to even get up there to do that. It kind of takes away a dimension of the cage, I believe. And I mentioned this during the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view last year as well. And considering the Breaking Point pay-per-view, that might have been a 1 year only, due to the pay-per-view being in Montreal, the Screwjob city, where they maybe want to do a submission kind of based pay-per-view just to send a little chill down the spine for us, the old wrestling fans that used to watch WWE back in 1997. Then we move on from Hell in a Cell. Bragging Rights is still there, Survivor Series is still there, and TLC is still there. So the major changes is the move of Night of Champions till September, the apparent scrap of Breaking Point, the yet to be determined pay-per-view in July, and the movement of Extreme Rules from June to May. That's the big changes, and I want to discuss with you fans. This is a kill or keep. What do you think of these new pay-per-views? Should WWE kill or keep them? What do you think of the new names? Are they fitting for the kind of format of the pay-per-view? And I ask for sophisticated discussion. Why do you think the way you think? Present some information to your opinion if you feel like it. That's something to prefer. And what do you think about Breaking Point being scrapped, being the only new pay-per-view that was scrapped from last year of all this new concept that they presented? And what kind of pay-per-view should they put in the July's open gap where they still haven't announced a pay-per-view? Feel free to discuss this, and thank you for watching. Tomorrow is my Raw review day. Be sure to catch that, and also catch the other kill or keeps that I have made. Bye.